Animation has come a long way since the 1920s, and we now have new art styles in 2D and, of course, 3D animation. Disney has a lot of competition now with DreamWorks and Sony Pictures, since Disney and Pixar animation has sort of blended and become more interchangeable since they both use 3D animation, when before Disney Pictures used to have a 2D animation style with some 3D effects, and Pixar used to be their three-dimensional big budget films. With the exception of Disney, we have seen a recent push in animation and storytelling to their limits. This film is not that. Japanese animation can outdo Western animation, and I do prefer anime to a lot of cartoons in the West. But when you have an animated movie from Japan, it definitely can go full anime. And you know what? Resident Evil Death Island is a dumb, stupid movie with a lot of fun. Now make no mistake, I'm not saying it's the greatest animated film of all time, but like Fast X, I had a lot of fun. So grab your pistols and hold on to your butts as we flip into this movie. The movie begins with a flashback to Raccoon City, where some random umbrella grunts have to stop people from getting out of the city, until all but 2 of the soldiers have been infected. They are ordered to kill their fellow soldiers. I hope this doesn't set up a potential bad guy in the future. Flash forward to 2015, where we catch up with Leon tracking a truck as he has to fight a dominatrix on a motorcycle. Turns out it's the same lady from Resident Evil Vendetta. You better know that, if not, you're shit out of luck. All I remember from that movie is
awesome!
Meanwhile, Jill is clearing out a house, turning her torch on and off throughout the whole bit, and it gets really funny at times. It has I don't know the strategic value to turning on and off a torch, but it's pretty hilarious after a while.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Anyway, Chris shows up and they talk about the events of Resident Evil 5 and 6, and they drop Wesker's name like 3 or 4 times in this scene. Also, Claire finds an orca with strands of the T-virus. You know, as you do. They all meet up with Rebecca, who tells them that all the victims have strands of the T-virus, and that they trace back to Alcatraz. They investigate when all hell breaks loose, and I hope you enjoy this because this is all the zombies that are in here. Look, the animation isn't great, but goddamn, it is fun to watch Claire, Jill, and Chris shoot up and freaking murder a bunch of zombies. It's awesome. Though multiple times through the movie, I felt like the projector was going to die of a heart attack if it had to keep rendering PS3 graphics. Jill falls through a hole in the ground as she meets up with Leon. They fight together through the sewer, and it is awesome to see these two characters meet and interact. Claire and Chris save a doctor working for the bad guys, and they are also infected by little robot mosquitoes. Jill and Leon find the bad guy's secret base with
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay!
And a German U-boat. Leon and Jill show up to save Chris and Claire. The bad guy monologues and reveals his connection to the bad guy of the last Resident Evil movie, and he says he's getting revenge on the corporations and rich dudes because he had to kill his best friend from the opening. First off, that was your fault, but whatever. He plans to use the robot mosquitoes to infect people on a global scale to, what else, take over the world.
Of course!
Rebecca shows up with a vaccine which shouldn't do anything. It should have been stated it's a cure, but whatever, as Jill meets up with Rebecca. Also, all her team she arrived with on the island dies and she has no reaction. It's hilarious. As Jill tries to destroy the research basement, Rebecca cures Leon first, who goes off and fights the dominatrix again, and she cures Claire and Chris. Leon gets his ass whooped, but gets some good hits in until he penetrates her with 6 inches worth of steel.
Hey, phrasing!
The whole team converges as the bad guy Dylan infects himself, turning into a giant monster as they try to fight him. And this is where the film turns from an okay time to fucking amazing. Claire and Rebecca use the mosquitoes to infect Dylan, as Jill uses the railgun, with Chris shooting him Rambo style with an M60, and Leon firing a full auto AA-12 with no recoil, and firing it super fully auto, like a machine gun. It's just awesome. Dylan tries to escape as Rebecca and Claire close the gate. Jill sets the explosive on him, and Chris and Leon use a 3 times the size of an AT-4 anti-tank rocket launcher. At least that's what I think. To blow up the gate. You know, to use it to break his neck. And then he blows up because of Jill. They all get extracted with no Golden Gate in sight. The end. Now look, this film is not greatly animated. It's not a mind-provoking film. It's not cinema. But goddamn, I would be lying if I said I didn't have a good time. This is like the Avengers of the Resident Evil universe. A fun, dumb action film that knows it's Japanese. Now for context, I saw this dubbed, but it also had subtitles too, and the lip sync was a little off, and the dialogue was so drenched in Japanese. Also, Alcatraz is the main selling point, but half of it felt like it took place in one corridor of a sewer and a basement. That feels like a German World War II base, with a German U-boat and concrete bunker. But man, it doesn't matter. It was a good, fun, goofy, exciting film. And it had exciting moments to it. It just adds up to really entertaining popcorn flick. I love it. Is it sad that Fast X and this will probably be on my top 10 films of the year? I know. This was a fun film that Hollywood lacks in this day and age, and I'm glad films like Fast X and Resident Evil Death Island exist. It shows that films can be just entertaining fun, and you know what? It pleases me. I give this movie 2 beers out of 10, maybe 3. This is even better with friends, so get them if you can. This film is just overall a fantastic, dumb, stupid action film. It's action-packed. There is some slight horror, but it's not really the main focus. This is definitely Resident Evil 6 territory levels of insanity, and I love it. Like, the character interactions are pretty well done in this film. But I will say though, if you haven't watched the last movie and played a bit of the Resident Evil 5 and 6, you may be a bit confused. But this film is so much fun, and it's crazy that we are able to have male and female characters as equals. Now, I know I don't want to get political on this, but when I was watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I felt like Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character was a much stronger person compared to Indy. They treated Indy really poorly in that film. But in this film, Leon, Jill interact really well and are equals. Chris and Claire, equals. They all have a time to shine. Rebecca has a time to shine. Each character is given an important moment. They have awesome scenes together. And that one shot in the trailer, yeah, that shot, it's freaking awesome. I cannot stress how much fun this film is. Oh yeah, since I put this at the end, but I forgot to mention that the scientist that worked for the bad guys, he dies, and he has like this whole change of heart because he talked to these guys and they said they really believe in justice and they believe in doing the right thing and being good and shit. It's so Japanese, but it just works. Like, you can't have this in like any other film but a Japanese animated movie. It's amazing. I really recommend this film, and if you get the chance to watch this in cinemas, I say go for it. It is a fun, exciting action film that brings all of your favorite Resident Evil protagonists into one action-packed, heavy, animated film. So, anyway, please like and subscribe, and as always, take care and have a good one.